welcome to Lord of the Vets, where I've done the research so you don't have to. Don't talk to Dr. Google, you guys. Talk to a real one. I'm here with Luke, the lab, my friend's house, and I thought, why not do a lab breakdown for you guys, give you all the information you need to know about Labradors, seeing they're such a common and popular family household dog. So I'll give you some facts about labs. They were bred in the early 1800s, originally in Newfoundland and Labrador, which is on the east side of Canada. Now, they were bred as retriever fishing dogs, originally for stuff like picking up nets and retrieving fish that have sort of like flapped away from the net. The Labradors would go and get them. They're excellent swimmers. They have webbed toes and their coats are actually quite water resistant, which makes them fantastic swimmers. They were bred as working dogs. Now, it's important to understand the origins of whatever breed you are buying, because if you're going to purchase a breed that's a working dog, you need to understand that they're going to have a lot of energy, they need exercise, and they may require more work than some other breeds. The great thing about Labradors is they're just such great all-round dogs. They're great family dogs, and they're very loyal, they're good workers. They usually have great temperaments and relatively few health problems compared to other breeds. So there's two lines that have come from the Labrador dogs. There's the conformation, which is also known as the show, the English, or the bench. Now, these dogs, they are slightly stockier and have shorter noses, generally a little bit calmer than the field labs, which are also known as the working or the American. They are generally a bit lighter, a bit taller and lankier with slightly longer noses. Hey bud, you want to join the party? The average lifespan of a Labrador is 12 years and 3 months, but they can live anywhere from 10 to 15 years, and there are accounts of them living up to 19 years. So they have relatively few health problems compared to other breeds of dog. What are some things you need to know before buying a lab? Well, the first thing you're going to need to do is find a good breeder. I've got some tips to help you find a good breeder. So first of all, a good breeder, they actually won't need to do a ton of advertising, because they'll have a waiting list for their puppies, because they'll be well known. People in the community will be talking about them and how great they are and how thorough they are. The other thing is the sire and the dam. They should be at least 2 years old. Now, the reason for this, for them to get hip scored, they actually need to be older than 2 to get a confirmation that their hips are okay. So they should be over 2, and they should also have a hip score rating. Now, this rating should be from the Orthopedic Foundation for Animals, the Penn Hip, or the Wind Morgan. The other thing is they should have been checked by a veterinary ophthalmologist as well, or from the Canine Eye Registration Foundation. Some breeders will have thyroid checks and elbow checks as well, and they should have a good temperament. So it's really important that the breeder allows you to talk to other people that have bought puppies from them, and then you can ask them about the dogs. Are there any issues? Are there any concerns? How is their temperament? You should get to meet the dam, and if you can't meet the sire, at least call some people that have puppies from that sire so that you can check if there's any health issues or any temperament issues with the puppies. There shouldn't be like lots and lots of breeds of dogs happening at this property. They should be bred inside and being taken proper care of, because there are some places they have like barns or like a whole lot of kennel runs, and they're pretty much farming puppies, and that's a bad sign. They're just kind of treated like farm animals, and often these puppies will have issues. So when you go to the property, it's good to check the puppies, make sure there's no eye discharge, their ears shouldn't smell, they should have plenty of energy. When you stroke the puppies, they should relax. They shouldn't act as if they haven't been touched before, because a good breeder, they will have made contact with the puppies. And the other thing is the puppies should not be removed before 7 weeks from their siblings or from their mum. It's really important they're socialized properly, and if they're removed before that, they can have some issues. For the hip score and for the eye checks, there should be health certificates for those, and they should give you a copy of those and allow you to see them too. So it's really important you're thorough and you check these things out. It's not the time to try and be budget and get the best possible deal you can. You're going to spend between $1,500 and $2,500 in the States and Canada for these animals. I wouldn't recommend focusing on money, but rather than making sure that the breed is good and they're doing everything thoroughly. They should give you materials as well on how to train the animal and what to feed it. You can consult your vet about these things too. But a good breeder will give you some information about the breed and help you along the journey. You're going to have a relationship with your breeder, so make sure it's somebody that you get on with and you know they're honest, and you can have a continual dialogue about the animal with them. A good breeder will be willing to do that with you. So the grandparents and the siblings of the sire and the dam that you're breeding from, you should have access to their records as well and make sure that there's no health issues, or at least have a discussion with the breeder, an open discussion if there have been any issues in any of the grandparents or any of the siblings. The first 2 generations from the puppies that you're buying, most of the dogs should have titles attached to their names. A good pedigree will look like that and they'll allow you to look at these things. Another important thing is a contract. A efficient, good and organized and responsible breeder will give you a contract to sign, and usually this involves signing a waiver that you will get the animal either spayed or neutered and you won't breed from it yourselves. A good breeder will actually care about this and they'll be protecting the integrity of their prodigy and their line. So expect to get a contract, and if they're not offering you a contract, that's something to watch out for. Now, I hope you can write these things down, maybe keep them by the phone when you call your breeder, and those are just a few questions you can go through with them. Now, health problems. Some common health problems that labs get, congenital ones that is, are to do with their eyes. They can have progressive retinal atrophy and cataracts, and a few other issues of the retina, like retinal detachment. They can get some heart issues, and the more common end is the hip and the elbow issues, especially in heavier dogs. So those are some things to look out for. Another thing is temperament. There can be some labs that have behavioral issues, anxiety, aggression, and be a bit sort of hyperactive and things like that. So it is important, like I said, to be checking with your breeders what sort of temperament and making sure there's no behavioral issues with any of the puppies that have been bred from this particular breeder. Something else is obesity. They are prone to obesity more so than many other breeds. So it's really important that you exercise them well and you're really careful with their dieting because they are prone to putting on weight. So the males will weigh between 65 and 80 pounds generally, and the females between 55 and 70 pounds generally. So I hope you found this useful. If you have any questions, please comment them below this video and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. I probably haven't covered everything, but I hope this has given you some guidance as to choosing your new family member.